Hey guys, I'm Sam, and today I have a very cool redstone creation to show you guys. So, this is PvP kit signs in vanilla Minecraft 1.8. So, if you know, many minigame servers have kit PvP where you can battle other players and you have the ability to choose different kits. So, I basically recreated that in 1.8 of vanilla Minecraft, because a new feature was added which lets you right click on signs to trigger commands. So here you can see I have three different kits. I have the archer kit, the tank kit, and the swordsman kit. And when I right click on the PvP sign, I get all these items in my inventory. And I have armor that's automatically put on me. So you see I have a bow with power 1, sword, gold armor, stuff like that. And in the chat it said you selected the archer kit. So that's pretty cool, and I can do the same with the other kits. If I choose the tank kit, I'll get new items in my inventory and new armor. And lastly, if I choose the swordsman kit, I'll get more new items, and I'll have different, actually this time colored armor, with different enchantments and lore and colors, and it's pretty cool. So this just shows what you can now make with in vanilla Minecraft for 1.8. So now I'm going to go through my thought process on how I actually came up with this device, and I'll tell you more about it. Alright, so first off, I'm going to talk about how the clickable signs actually work. So I guess here's actually a good demonstration. I made a clear sign, so when I click on this, my inventory will be cleared. And I just did, and now my inventory is cleared. So pretty recently, actually, a few snapshots ago, signs changed, so they now follow JSON formatting, which I really don't know too much about, but I figured out that you can, well, one of the features they added is that you can now run a command through right-clicking the signs. So here, you can see I'm setting the block above, so I'm setting this sign to a standing sign. And here I'm setting the text on it, so you can see the text. Text 1 is kit PvP with the color as dark red and it's bold. And now I'm setting the second line text, and that's heavy, color is yellow and it's bold. But now here I added a clickEvent, which allows you to run a command. So that command that I'm running, the value of it is /setblock, one above to stone. So now when I click the sign, it will set the block above the sign to stone every time. So if you want to know more about JSON text, I found a really informative post on the Minecraft forums about it, and I'll have a link to that in the description. I also have a link to Pastebin for all the commands that went into making this, because you can't copy from descriptions anymore. So I'm going to be putting all the commands in the Pastebin. But if you want to learn more about JSON, I'll also have a link for that, because that was very informative on how to create this. Because JSON, I mean, it's simple, but at the same time, I find it really confusing because you can't make any mistakes. But I think that's a really cool feature that they added. I'm glad they did that. So here are some other examples. Here, this one will say @p. So we'll say the nearest player, and that's me, Sam2444. This one is going to give the closest player an apple. Click on that, and I've got an apple. Yay! So that's basically how the clickable signs work. So after I figured out how the signs worked, I was trying to figure out a way on how I could use these signs to give me multiple items. But I didn't want it to be like each item was its own command block, and I would just be given a whole bunch of them in a row. I wanted to make this as compact as possible, possibly all just in this one sign. So I thought, how can I give multiple items in one command block? So then I turned to the /summon command, and I learned that if you summon an item, so here I'm summoning an item, in this case it is a bow, and you have that item riding another item. So the bow is riding a golden sword. So if you have all these items riding other items, you can summon all of them at once in that same order that they're riding each other. So I'll give me the bow first, then I'll get the sword, and on and on. So you can have as many as you want, and I figured out that's how you can summon multiple items. So click this button, and now I get all these items in the same order. So I thought this is what I was going to originally do, because I thought this was the best way, since it's compact, it's easy. The only problem is, well, there were two problems actually. One is that the armor does not auto-equip, because when you summon an item, it's looking for the closest inventory slot that's open, not necessarily your armor slots. So it goes to your inventory instead. The other problem is, here you can see this is the same thing, I just put it into signed form. If you click it again, like if you want to choose a different kit, it will give you those items again before. It won't clear your inventory first. It will just give you those items a second time and a third time. Ooh, it's making a cool pattern. That's pretty funky. So, yeah, that was the problem with that, unfortunately. So, I had to figure out a way around this. And first, actually, let me just show you. This is self-sustained. I don't know. Anyway, I can put this anywhere in the world, and I'll get these items. So that's also a really cool feature. So after I figured out I can summon multiple items, I came up with my first design for this. So I'm in a different world now. This is my original design. I'm just going to turn it to peaceful. This would despawn so I can get to the redstone. So the way I did it in my original design was, instead of having the sign itself give you the items, the sign instead sets a redstone block behind it, right in this little square, and it triggers a bunch of commands. But I made this very compact, and instead of having a giant line of command blocks behind it. So basically, when you click this sign, it will trigger all these commands. So I have it play a sound, I have it tell me the thing in the chat, and here you can see this is to summon the items. I forgot to say before, it's an execute command, so when it gives you the items, it's giving you the items right onto you so no one can take them. So it's basically summoning the items like basically in the player, so no one else will be able to get them. And one of the advantage of this was that I was now able to clear the inventory. So each time you selected a new kit, your inventory would be cleared and you'd get new items. So you wouldn't have to worry about duplicate items and stuff like that. So I was all ready to make a video about this, and it seems like it was a good design. But then the new snapshot came out, which added the replace item command, and I used that to put the armor automatically onto the player. So I'm now going to show you guys how the new /replace item works. So the way you do it is /replace item, then you can choose an entity or block. So I'm going to do the player, so it's going to be entity. I can do my name, but I'm just going to do @p, and I get to choose the slot. So if I do slot dot hotbar dot 1, I can now choose what item I want and the amount. So I could say grass 2, and I'll get 2 in that slot. So that's really cool how that works. So I changed that for my armor slot. So I did slot.armor.head, I guess. I think that's correct. And I did something like golden chest plate. Oh, I did head, right? Golden helmet. And then it automatically puts on your helmet. So I use that to get armor directly onto you. So I was actually so happy when that new snapshot came out, because I really wanted that feature, and then it did. So I was like, yay! So when that came out, I decided, why even use the summon item? I can just use replace item for everything. But then how can I fit all the replace item commands into one command block? And that's where I came up with my second design. So for my second design, I used an outside tool that a man named dankydrank made, and it's a really cool tool. It lets you put multiple commands into one command block, and again, I'll have a link for that in the description if you want to get that tool yourself. So I used that tool, and I made each command I put in it was a replace item. So I had 4 for my armor, then I had a replace item for each item in the kit. So I thought, okay, that's really cool. Now it's even simpler to do it. The only problem is with the tool. I'll do it quickly here. I'll get the archer kit using replace item method. The only problem is there's like a really slight delay when you get your items, and that delay really bothered me because you'd be getting the items. Well, first off, I wanted to make it as instantaneous as possible. I didn't want any delay when your items were given. So if you notice it, it's very slight, but it's very frustrating because the ding and the message in the chat wouldn't be appearing at the same time you're getting the items. So I wanted it to be like here. It all happens at exactly the same time. So that was basically the only problem. But once again, I can't really show you this command. You have to use the tool. It's really long. You have to use the tool to get it. But once again, that was made by dankydrank. Yeah. So that's where I came up with my final design that you see here. So I decided for my final design basically just to compromise. So I'd be giving the items in the inventory using the /summon, the summoning the item method, but I'd be putting the armor on me using the replace item, since you couldn't really tell there was any delay when your armor was put on. So I used both. So I'm quickly gonna, again, despawn these mobs. These mobs are strictly for show. I thought it just looked cool because it shows what items you're given, but here we go, they're gone. Alright. So once again, these signs, I have the command blocks here. These signs just set, instead of giving you the items, these set the block over here to a redstone block. So when that block is set, again, it'll play the sound, it will clear your inventory, it will say the message in chat, but here you can see this is where it's summoning the items, but I also have it connected to the multiple replace item command. So it does both in one, and it's still pretty compact. It's not as compact. These aren't necessary completely, but sometimes some minecart command blocks get like spilled out onto here, so it just kills them quickly. Or sometimes they don't despawn rather, and then I have to kill when they fall. But it's still pretty compact. It wasn't super long, and once again, this is where is it? Here you can see this is still, if you really want to, it's still technically it's still compact into one sign if you really want it to. You can still, like, you can put these signs anywhere in your world and get the kit. It's just the items won't clear every time you click it. But yeah, that's how I ended up doing it for the rest of these. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I think I rambled on a lot about stuff, but hopefully it's helped you with many things like the signs and the summoning and the replaced item and everything. And once again, I'll have links in the description for JSON formatting and entity spawning and replace item stuff. And yeah, so I hope those are helpful. And I'll have a giant paste bin with all the different commands. So, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm really excited to explore more with the new sign system clicking stuff. I'll definitely be trying out new things with it and seeing what I can make. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll have more videos coming soon. Thanks. Bye.